John,
Oh, the meeting notice for approval.
yes,
Meeting notes of June 12th. Make a motion to approve the meeting notes of June 12th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Sewer department clerical just fees. So we have a contract from 2007, Brenda.
that was the one and only contract that was ever done.
Now, was that money paid to us or to American?
To American.
Okay, so now they're paying, we're not getting the money. Aaron's getting it.
No,
Oh, we are.
Water department gets paid by the sewer department, but you did work. Essentially, right?
yeah, it's for my services, for everything I did for the sewer department. As well as we kind of put in like the guys going out meter reading, making sure that the meters, are working properly, not only for our benefit, but for theirs. We pay for all the infrastructure of the water meters and this, that, and the other thing. Our gasoline and
So he was asking particular certain jumping around. But he's asking specifically about why we have a 2.5% increase. I don't think he's questioning the charge. I think he's questioning why it goes up.
All right.
Is that how you understood it? Or-
that's how I understood it, but in the original contract, it was going up 5%.
So when was it decided to go 2.5?
I think after when they didn't start paying us. When they stopped paying us for a couple of years and then we reinitiated it. It was agreed, I think at that point, every year there would be a 2.
What year that was that?
No, I'd have to go
That
back.
was, let's see. When did, what was the last year of American? So it was,
We're in year 14 of Woodard.
all right. So it was 14 years ago. That's what happened. I went to that meeting. And
So they stopped paying.
they stopped paying for 2 years. There's a whole list of everything that they were doing, American. And it was. And it showed every single item that everybody did, and it was a 5% increase for new customers. And every so many new customers, you get a 5% increase in cost. And it was, I think it was only like a 2.5 or 3% increase a year.
Well, the original contract was put in place because when I first came aboard, that's when they were doing all of North Cohasset. So, that was just a lot of sewer connections just to initiate them, get the account set up, working with, Hingham to get all the information, getting the billing done, all of that. So that was the initial thing for the 5% and each new account that was set up. Because there was 0 when I started over in North Cohasset, and then we brought on the 200 or whatever it was.
And
So the increase to the sewer department is actually less than the increase in the power. Costs.
Yeah.
To,
Oh, yeah.
So. I think what we can do is, I can respond with an overview of. What the fee gets them. And, an explanation that it's actually less than our annual
here's
increases.
list. What we're doing. But the whole thing is, back then, we were making it was only 1,500 a month that we were getting from them. When American was in charge.
Yeah.
And then they stopped paying us, and then they started paying us less, so we're getting less now than we were when American was in charge. 15 years ago.
This one from 2007 says, you're only getting 1,056 a month. You look at that way.
Yeah, well, I don't know, cause I have, trying to find a note here where it said that we were getting 15,000. At the end of.
How is that money transact?
So I do a bill every month and I email it over to Carol, the sewer department. The July invoice goes up by 2.5%. I do it in QuickBooks. So when the check gets cut from the town, I take it in and that's part of our revenues.
Okay, I see.
So
This
what is
is,
it now?
this is what we were getting back then.
Yeah.
This was 2014.
We're hovering around 1,500
Right.
with the increase as of July 1st. And I bill at the end of the month for the entire month.
Yeah.
And in May, I billed for May and June because end of fiscal year and didn't get the checks till last week. Because Carol didn't process.
Checks from the sewer department?
Yeah, go and take a picture of that.
So they won't go in fiscal year 25 revenues, they'll go in 26.
Alright, so I mean, I think it's, maybe we should get something new in writing with them. I can,
All right, and this is the contract that shows exactly.
I would love to bring this up. Is Bill the chair?
Don't know.
Through the bill of Paul. Paul and some of the others. Going on, we get the second. You know,
Alright, so we can get back to them on that, further discussion of the sewer repairs.
oh, I don't think they're unreasonable. At all. It is, I
It's
mean.
a very good price
Yeah,
for what I did.
So we should go up. You guys,
I'm not saying anything, I just know that my alter ego in the sewer department doesn't do anything. She doesn't even know what her sewer rates are.
Okay.
She couldn't calculate a bill to save her life.
Well, you don't always come up with the actual, so.
yeah, you should, if you can, keep track of your time.
see, but it's like.
Well, I can give a spreadsheet, like especially around the billing time. Anything that I do for the North Cohasset residents or Central Cohasset residents, if it's strictly related to sewer, I mark it in the billing system as a sewer question. And I can give a spreadsheet of what I've
You
just
should just
done.
do
in
it,
this
actually.
month.
You have like 3 times, do an actual. Guys, it's all pot. It's $3-4 grand. Oh. Right, fixing $2.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the thing, just the way we were trying to overcharge them. You know, and when you take a look at the irrigation meters we have to put in, so that people don't have to pay super or irrigation.
How many hours a week do you think they use the trucks in North Dakota? So,
They don't, no, we don't do sewer at all.
no, so you don't, there's no driving around for 80 meters.
No, we do have a couple of, like, if a new resident moves in over there and they do have a second meter. I'll send Connor or Brendan over there to help the new resident. If the old resident hasn't told them about the second meter. And I go through the explanation and then I'll send one of the guys over.
Yeah. For pickup truck, now the rate is $6 an hour. That's just what I do. Just that's.
But we only have just a handful of our meters on that side,
Right.
just because it made my life easier. You're one of them.
That's what I first met you guys.
Yeah, you know, but considering all the postage and everything, simple letters.
Yeah.
He's solar.
Oh, yeah, but I
Exactly.
send letters 3 times a year to all those people with the second meters. And they either scan them and email them back to me or they mail them, so all of those 37 or 38 customers, I have to do manual adjustments quarterly, 3 quarters out of the year. Not to mention the correspondence back and forth, postage.
You know, and considering some people don't respond right away and.
And the back and forth with Veolia.
I can attest to you on that one.
Yeah,
All those.
They know my name over there, let's put it that way.
So what is it, we're just trying to save too much?
I think they're just inquiring why it was up.
Well, I think it goes up because of.
Yeah, so we can easily explain that, but we should get something. Right. It seems like that's an updated contract.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, that was it because one of the current people, they never did. Any of that. We were just continuing on.
Right, it's gonna just carry on.
Yeah.
So we should just get it more formal, have it just be a letter of agreement. Or it's sort of-
Okay, and also if Brenda wants to sit down with. the-
No, I don't wanna do that.
Oh, sorry.
I really don't. I could do spreadsheets and things like that, but honestly, there were weeks when it's all sewer, and then could be a week when I don't do any sewer.
You know, but I mean, if we want to decide that maybe it is not enough for everything she's doing.
All right, well,
And then also, it should be based on with the increase in the. Too,
you mean keep pace with that.
Right.
Increase.
because
Just
just
3%.
we're made, that's. What are we paying?
She has to.
Well, either. Maybe we can work together and find out what her loaded hourly rate would be, or loaded cost would be, and take a stab at estimating the number of weekly hours she spends.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing, I mean, I agree with you, if it's something that dated, it's worth a little bit of a freshen up or MOU.
Yeah.
something, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure when America did it, it was based on everything's cost, but. These have,
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's too complicated.
No.
Complicated, so.
So
if you would see what they did, 12 years ago.
All right, so jumping back to the first item, commission reorganization and vote, sir discussion.
Like the upper, we find, we keep it as is. That's just my opinion, I think it's working fine, unless you wanna change.
We work forever.
Yeah, I'm open to anything, as I've said in years past. I'm gonna work.
I'm on my last year and I don't want that spot, so
You don't want that butter coming back in.
I probably will.
It's fun.
No, no. You two can deal with that, so you guys are great, you've done a great job, and it's between you two, you guys can decide. I'm good. You're good. You've seen my things these last few months.
What is the position that Steve holds?
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair. Vice Chair and clerk.
I'm clear.
We could switch.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Alright.
Yeah.
Vice Chair.
Okay, you gotta make motions, guys.
No, I'm just making a motion.
Just clarify.
So she
Clerk.
become,
Vice Chair.
yes.
Okay.
You have to make a motion, big.
Agree with that? Make a motion to reorganize the water commission. I will remain the chair, Steve will become the clerk, Steve will become the vice chair. For a second.
Uh,
All in favor?
Aye. Nice job, congratulations.
Oh, I just in case. You're it moved to the time.
Yeah, no, I'm fine, like, it's all been working. I wanna go to work. Be gone for this last 5-6 months.
Okay, I'm trying to open small to big, breeze through the small. So the 46 Border Street, Atlantica sold out restaurant, subject.
I let him in, but he didn't read, deny it.
Oh,
You wanna start with Brian?
He doesn't wanna come in. See, I promoted to panelist and he declined. He declined. I
Just-
looked at it 3 times. So he could be just listening.
Okay, well, the Atlantica Salt Out Restaurant, it's all settled as far as I understand it. All the service lines and domestics are separate and brand new from the building to the main. We are the annual system-wide leak detection with Ralph, detector. I believe it's finished, and we're just waiting on his report. He didn't find any significant breaks, but it was a hydrant, a regular leak that we repaired in 100 Pond. And then there's a service league that I think yesterday we sent a letter,
Not yet.
and ready to send a letter to someone on Atlantic Ave who has a service league that they're responsible for.
Real quick, they don't here,
We were there and charged 10% extra. Right?
when it goes on. Water bill.
I'd start with a regular invoice, and then if they don't pay that within the quarter, I'll check it on the water bill.
Now the service leak is under your water.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, and that will come back later in my update. We received the HVAC unit for the break room, which is all area right now, should be installed. Yes, the end of August. I think I've mentioned to you that one of the sluice gates at Boundbrook Dam is leaking. We installed footing boards behind it to try to slow that down. It seemed, before all that rain we were talking about, it seemed like it was gonna get low enough for us to see it. I think once I can see it, I'm optimistic that I can fix it. And if not, I've been in touch with Brad Smalls, Hydrus Controls, give him a heads up that at some unknown at the time that would be coming up, he could be getting that phone call. But on that topic, though, we are not in drought department.
No, I just saw the report that, there's only a very minor amount.
Yeah.
But Hingham is still, receiving.
I think there's other reasons, but.
I know that.
Okay, the first draft of the worded current rate study is almost done. I think when the first draft is done, we're gonna, the three of us, or at least the two of us, are gonna meet with them to go over it, and then we'll invite them to present it to you. I'm hoping that that'll be finished and it will be presented to you within 2 months. I'm kind of speaking for them, but he's kind of, all right, well, it sounds like we're doing this a month or two. Yeah. As you, I think you know, the Bear Hill tank communication cables are relocated, and I've invited back the concrete contractor to continue repairing the foundation. So I got confirmation from him yesterday that he will be able to come back for at least a couple days. And the way they quoted it was a daily rate of $2,900, which would cover about 10 feet per day. I can't remember the total feet, but you can back on that. And really only like half of it or a third of it is really critical. The other rest of it, we wait a couple more years.
Well, while they're there, right?
And on the subject of water towers, I kind of went out on a limb and started reconnecting with some tank people to ask them for rough quotes on getting mixers in the tanks, which we don't have. And it's kind of an industry standard, and it could potentially help with our THMs. It's somewhat affordable at around 16,000 per tank, and they should be good for like 10 years or so. That's one price I have. The second price I got was a little bit higher, so right now it's basically 16,000 per tank.
What is it, Jonathan? Put what in?
Mixers in the water towers.
I thought we had one in the towers.
So we're looking at, you just started looking into really, right, the price of they're investigating. As far as the pricing,
Just started,
there
yeah.
might be other companies that are.
They had to stop.
The tank would have to be drained and cleaned, which isn't hard, it's just has to be in the fall or the winter or spring.
No use. So,
Yeah,
Now, when is he scheduled to be done on? Drink.
I don't know offhand, it would be in the next couple of years would be the next one. So I think they're kind of like a 3 to 5 year cycle.
Cause I know they weren't done for quite a long time.
One of them wasn't done for like forever, And then they both were done, and then I was here for both, so they both been done in the last
Yeah.
7 years. So. But the guy explained to me though, when you put these mixer in, you need to drain and clean, or else it's just gonna get like a milkshake. So, but also, with the lower of the two prices I got, the guy explained to me that if you drain and clean it and do the inspection, the installation is free. Which is kind of half,
Right.
half of one, since the
Right.
other, so
Those things are a lot. Mixer on bottom.
it's suspended like 10 feet off the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a motor that, right, it's a
There's-
pump.
yeah, there's, I mean, in this, over the last few years, it was more limited to the companies that were putting them out, there's more options. But generally, they're tied with a tank cleaning or inspecting company, so I'm sure that's part of, when I get the budget, so I'd like to look at the report, the last reports, and see the condition. Go from there. The regulations are a lot, inspections, like you don't always have to clean it, and they have ROV. So you're not always, you don't always have to put it down. But, the quality of the water. So the regulations are based on inspection, not necessarily.
So this is a. Mixes the water.
Yeah,
Constantly.
yes. It,
So basically, you're, I don't mean to be a ball hog.
no,
You get stratification in the tank.
Yeah,
And
part
then
of
you
it's that.
have different ages of water in the tank, which is a big factor on. Disinfection byproducts, that you can, with the age of the water, so. I'd like to talk, this was something we talked about, I asked. I'll look into pricing, but I'd like to do a little historical book too with you as far as. We recommended that it make a difference, but it seems like systems with THM Industries are putting it in for years.
Yeah, that's one of our big issues.
Would you say it's unusual for a tank not to have it?
No, I'd say that you have unusually high organics here, so I don't want to say that it's an assault, so. You have pretty high levels going up anyway, so
I'm guessing if you get that water, it's called chunky water up top, and pressure drop, you fall back in, you're gonna stop it, so.
So one of the things too, I asked is if it was noted on the sanitary survey report, and it wasn't, so it's not like we're behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, and we have been pretty good at maintaining the tank.
But
Ever since we had
Yeah.
a major problem.
Yeah, where we go.
Say, bring that portion of the thing, says that the,
Sure. It's kind of a new subject to me, honestly. I started learning about it in the last couple of years.
It's the best practice in health water quality. It's just something.
So to be continued, we'll get back.
absolutely.
Back up, Jonathan, on the foundation repair. Is the plan as of now to go forward with the time and material? At 29 a day. Approximately 10 a day.
Well, my thought was to at least get them in for a couple days into the worst parts, and as we get closer to the end of this fiscal year, early in the spring, see where we're at. But maybe let back 4 days.
How many feet do you think we have to do?
Probably at least 30 or 50.
Okay. No, that was kind of where I was going with this, what's reflected.
Yeah.
Space.
That was my thinking, yeah. So I'd say less than half the tank needs to be done in the next couple of years. We are working with Ramanard in the town, a cybersecurity grant. That's where the end result is going to be this program that monitors network traffic for any suspicious activities, people trying to, entities trying to get into our network. And we're kind of another component of it is drafting a incident response plan document for everybody to work off of and sort of speak of a roadmap if there is a cyber incident, how to proceed, how would we notify the chain of command, things like that. So I'd say we're kind of in the home stretch of that. Everything's approved. We're waiting on quotes for the program. We're working with an outside company on that document. That's basically. That kind of sums that up.
Yeah, I was just reading about that in the Mass Water Works stuff.
Okay.
That's we can bring it up. We did.
We are in the early stage of replacing the little white truck. It's being advertised for sale.
It's already,
Advertised.
they already have questions.
You just gotta go. I know, we go. They're gonna get.
It won't be a utility truck,
Yeah, just
capable of plowing, but I think. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I think not 150 or maybe smaller.
Right, so we have 3 plow trucks now.
Yeah, one of them is kind of old, the other one's not that far behind. But both of those are on the capital plan as well. Yeah.
But we basically only had 2 previously. Yeah. Like,
For plowing, yeah.
so are you gonna maintain 3 trucks for plowing or we just have to? If we get rid of one. We're gonna get rid of one.
I can't say.
I know we've been having problems with that Dodge.
You're gonna try to get the ability to take care of plow. So, should. Utility or utility company.
We're getting rid of the small one, though. Looking for a new one.
We're in like the earliest stages, like Pat's talking about what it's gonna be and. What the future is of the whole fleet.
You know, we have to decide whether or not we want 3 utility trucks plus another one. Because we've only basically had the 2 and had a regular pickup. For the clip.
With 3 utility trucks, right?
Yeah.
Plus the little.
Yeah.
You two were both saying you get a big truck.
No, I was thinking a fun thing.
Yeah, that's what.
Not like the whole skateboard, always.
No, I think it's,
Yeah.
You get a decent size.
I see you with
A
them.
pickup truck, but now it's a big. So
No,
I
I
think
mean,
you got, I think you bring
I think we would like to, we can talk about it having a lift gate though. To bring barrels up and down.
Yeah.
That's, I'm kind of more focused on that than the ability to plow or have a utility, cabinets.
it's good.
you know, but so we should really determine what your needs are. For
Yeah.
each truck. If I kind of think it's ridiculous to say, oh, well, gee, I needed wardrobe and I didn't need the utility body. Yeah,
Is it safe to say the small truck has safety, it's been deemed that it shouldn't be driven?
Yes.
So getting rid of the small truck, you're working on a plan for what the fleet's gonna look like and you'll, it's on that. For the new vehicle, come back to the, come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
they we have to get ready to go to town meeting to replace the truck.
And if we sold the white truck, the little white truck tomorrow, it'd be fine. We could get by 6 months to a year with what we have.
As long as it's not just,
Right. That is.
that's the yes, because we've had 2 major problems with it.
So I kind of just said. All that's left is really an update on the slush. The grenade project. Sure. So right now,
So what are we doing, 3A first?
I was gonna do sludge.
Oh, okay, all right, I just gotta get on the right part of the page.
So the left lagoon is historically the wet one where all the sludge and backwash water goes from the plant. And historically, the right lagoon is where you would have the large sludge bag. Right now, the left one is 3/4 full, more or less. As long as we continue to process sludge in the bag, turn it out deployed just inside the gate. Which is about itself 1/2 to 3/4 full at this point. So if we stop processing sludge, this would have overflowed by now. But I still have some room in this one, which I'm trying to, hang on to as best I can. So we have another bag, a long skinny one in place right now between the right lagoon and the fence. And it's not yet hooked up with a hose, but it's going to be either today or tomorrow. So this one's, half to almost full, this one's empty. And we're scheduled right now for the dewaters to come back in October. Now, I don't know whether or not we're the last stop of the year for them, but I'm considering calling them to get an answer to that question and potentially see if they can come back in September. Because I'm a little nervous with how this could go as we get, closer and closer to those months. But right now, we're maintaining, and at the moment, it seems like not having the big bag would stay. Because even though it doesn't quite dewater it, when we use the bags, they're only so effective, because at the end of the cycle, we cut it open to dispose of, it's still pretty wet. But it's not nearly as wet or large volume as it is in its raw form. It's living planting first on. So even though it's not an ideal solution, we are able to pack way more sludge in that big bag than we are just in. And but maybe there's it's not a fully complete, conclusion to the story, but that's kind of where we're headed right now. That's my thoughts.
So the right lagoon is, what's in there?
It's about 3/4 full of sludge.
Okay.
No bad.
Okay, so it's just being pumped in there from the what?
Yeah, so as this one gets full, let's say this one was like. If we had to do a filter backwash, I was concerned that there wasn't enough room to take it, we would transfer some over to this side to Maine. We're trying to avoid that each time by processing the sludge into this bag that's located outside. So we're trying to constantly keep this at least down enough where we could do a backwash. And sometimes it's more, sometimes it's only, sometimes there's like 3 to 5 feet of freeboard, but there are days when if we aren't keeping up with processing, it does kind of creep up. We transfer some over.
Good. So you're saying the bag, the large bag. Don't have as much capacity.
Yeah, it's a little concerned.
Mm.
And now we made that decision on the advice of the dewater. The dewater was like, I've been here a few times now, I've done the math, you have plenty of storage. It's like, well, I probably shouldn't have trusted it, he's not here every day.
Right. Because without the bag, it's not the water fast enough. As fast.
Without the bag, there's still a lot of water that's taking up capacity. It's also.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you did some analysis on the pumpage too, the pumpage is back there.
Yeah, how much water we're producing here, yeah.
Now, how about the heavy rains we've had?
Raw water quality is not good right now. And that started around mid-June. Raw, amount of chemicals we're using was going up, and the water in the pond is getting gradually worse as June progressed, and now we're kind of in summer. Which the more chemical we use, the more sludge we use.
So what Why does the bag allow, give us more capacity?
Because even though it's not dewatering it quite to like what the future lagoons will do, it's still significantly less water than sludge leaving the building.
But because there's like more compaction in the bags.
Yeah, so like, the sludge leaving this building, it's like 80 or 90% water. This gets rid of, you know, a good chunk of that water.
No way to put a bag in. It's full, so, right. So we just need to get rid of that. Get the dewaters back in here.
And then I see us going back to the big bag after that. Now, maybe, you know, come September, August, these are not completely full and we still have some room and maybe it worked. But I can't predict that right now.
Has the output like increased?
It's, yes, but it's not any more than other summers.
Even with all the water getting in sync.
Well, that was, you know, that was an anomaly for like, you know, a week or two until I kind of got my ducks in a row, reviewed the document, tampered it down.
I'd be curious. Yeah, down the road. Yeah, with a slow, a sludge.
Yeah, definitely, but that's kind of that's for our executive session.
All right, so you're just briefing us on kind of where things stand, because it's somewhat abnormal. So
Well, this is, well, let's just say it's uncharted territory, never try to use this.
Because it's that bag.
Is there the company that was enforcing
Sounds sad.
Sensac? Okay, so you're trying to get them lined up for September.
Oh, well, I'm gonna call them and ask when their last stop of the year is, if it's us, and to give them a heads up that I may ask them to put us, second class. Which would be like, I guess, September.
When they stop around fall timeframe.
They stop for the winter.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe they go into November, early December, maybe, I'm not sure.
Right now, they're coming for October, so.
That's the way it is right now.
They're planning for October.
Which maybe we can make, but I wanna just get in their ear, let them know. I may ask to get bumped up. It's better, right?
I mean, what's the harm in just getting bumped up now? It's better.
There's no harm, but if we could time it so that these are actually full, then we get the max benefit.
Well, the worst case scenario, keep process like. Both of them.
Right, yeah, so there is that's a big consideration. So is it worth trying to get max benefit when you're, you know, screwing yourself?
Now, were you planning on putting those two bags out?
No, sort of, I mean, I had a feeling, I had this one all along, we only started going into this in the last 30 days, and I had it from 6 or 8 months ago. So I was ready for this one, but whether or not I thought it was gonna happen, at first I trusted them, but then after, right around actually when this thing's hanging, started heating up, then I started getting concerned. That's when we started the process.
Or the processing of both bags right now?
No, so this one isn't hooked up yet, it is in place, we're gonna hook the hose up today or tomorrow, so that it's ready. And we have, wait, see, we have this like fly here with valves, so we have one hose coming out of the shed, and then it goes into this fork, and each one has valves. Switch back and forth.
Okay. Questions on that?
So there's 3A. And as I mentioned, some of it. Most of this is not this year, it's next year, and there's sort of. It could be subject to change exactly the placement of all the valves we need to add, but something that's definitely happening in the short term is in the next few weeks. We need to insert a valve at Schofield in order to get the Pond Street intersection isolated. So that have the 8-inch main. This is not gonna be cheap, and it is coming up somewhat quickly. Brian could probably speak to it better than me, but based on what I was kind of hearing, it could be like. I think I heard the valve itself is like $9,000. So to install it, it's 20, 30, something like that.
The state doing it?
I believe, yes, but we are paying for the valve and like.
Yeah.
When this, you say the state, it would be the contract with landers.
I'm under the state contract, so they. And they're right out there now. So it's time to do it.
It has to be done in order for us to finish the abandonment of the management.
So you located that? Last time you said you,
I-
know where,
I think the location's gonna,
okay, so. What is the new valve create project have to do? Our work on Wall Street.
we can't isolate the water, we can't shut the water off coming from Situate direction.
Where's the next job? For the next.
I don't even, I think like none of these valves.
And there's nothing further up, what's Wall Street?
So I think basically it cannot be isolated. Then that's all the valves between here and Situate, none of them are gonna shut this down. Even if they did, then you have all of it, so it's on creation.
So
And Brewster Road.
how does that valve enable us to, abate that?
Because now we'll be able to shut all of this off, like, we can truly isolate this now, so that water doesn't flow in the Situate direction.
Right, but how does that enable us to abate it? Fully or properly abandon the age main?
Once. If we have this valve here, then we can. Isolate this section with that intersection to our dig. And cut it.
So how does this relate to the 3A project? Just piggybacking on the contractor and the work, or is this required also for the 3A?
So that will then enable them to basically start working from here in this direction, still be able to shut all
To
down.
the small section, so.
And then from there, we need to add valves like 1, 2, 3, 4, there's gonna be like between 5 and 7 valves that we have to add. As part of the project, and that's all of those valves will be next year.
No,
You should ask them. That's cool. Should we get here?
How do you know?
They should be, this fall should be, send some projects.
Their project. So,
But if they require, are they required you to do this?
No, but they're doing all the engineering for free.
And there'll be a cost savings in public safety and, with the road work going on. It's already gonna,
Right,
as far
so-
as details.
No, I'm just saying, we just say,
Yeah, but then you have a 1950s asbestos.
no,
cement.
what I'm saying is. That if they're requiring you to locate some. That's.
This was our request.
They're not.
Oh,
requiring-
okay.
They're not requiring, but what's gonna happen though is
I got you.
there'll be a moratorium on the road and we'll be able to dig it up. Those.
Only reason why I was saying is. If they required you to have the valves, then it's on Saturday. But if,
We are adding the valves because, so. Let's say, for instance, the water main on Beechwood coming into 3A, the valves don't shut.
no,
And then the valve coming,
I
the
know.
water coming in,
Yeah,
like Bruce
yeah.
gets.
I'm saying if they're required. No, that's fine what you wanna do, I get it, but if they're required.
They're not requiring us to, do it. we're requesting it to be done.
If they look at, it's better if they require, it's 100% reimbursable, so you spend 100, get on back.
now my question is, what, I thought we would be doing it sooner because all the work they're doing right now.
So
That area.
what they're doing, they're definitely first doing the storm drain, so that way, when they're working on the water, if there's a problem, the water's gonna have to go. Now, I think they're also maybe doing gas and electric at first as well, I can't speak to that, but they're definitely 100%, they're doing storm first.
So you're saying that, well. It's gonna start like next spring because we're gonna be going into winter, so they're gonna be shutting down what they're doing.
Right, yeah, that's fair to say.
Now, are they doing sidewalks there too?
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to make sure our funding is in place. Prior to them getting to the Cohasset line.
The other first thing they're doing too is they're moving all the telephone poles further out to make room.
And the Pond Street valve. What I'll call 3A Pond Street valve. My thought was we'll just take that, since it was an add-on to the contract, we're requesting it so that we can finish the job. I'll just take that out of extraordinary maintenance. But they were on that.
Sounds good.
That's conservation bill.
So that will be done shortly.
Yeah, I think I was told 2 weeks, that seems aggressive, maybe it's 3.
Because I know they're just doing so much work.
Yeah, right along. And that kind of includes pretty much everything.
Alright, so we will hopefully see, maybe next April starting on.
This thing will be 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Great.
started as 2 and but I've heard the guy say a couple times, like, that's if nothing goes wrong. But
Yeah, I know, just taking a look at what they're doing.
Down the road, that's.
I said phrase.
And then we're gonna have all the work with the police station in the new storage building.
Yeah.
The 3A is gonna be a place to be.
Sean. Yes.
I don't know, so.
Um. So, design bid review, this is from where current. Definitely a little bit more than I was anticipating. So. This is likely, somewhere between 8 and 12% of what the. Final construction cost would be. But, review proposal. We're looking at, over $500,000 for design. So the alternative is to put this out to bid. Go through that process. So. They did put a proposed schedule. Proposal, so. It's awarded next month. Get final design. Next year, next August, so it would take 1 year. For the plans and engineering. And then it would go out to bid September of 26. The project award November 26. Would probably be a mobilization sometime in that winter and then hopefully start construction
Spring 27th.
spring. So. And there's likely to be able to tell me the promise. So. Discussion.
I know this has been going on for many decades. Because we've had so many different plans.
I'm 100% what I think. Thoughts, oh, ideas. Okay. So,
Sure.
I want.
We all know something has to be done. There are so many good ideas out there now. of how to mitigate the flood. And also we want to protect, because I'll be getting a lot of leakage.
We're trying to prevent it.
I know, but
I think you might have missed the conversation last meeting, but just so you understand, if you already know, but the scale of this is like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yeah,
So,
right, right. It's a bank. So,
no, like just the
it's
sheer scope.
it's going out to the other side.
Where they would go. Sort of to this.
Right.
And so,
We kind of push towards the boundary.
I know, but the whole problem that did with prior plan. Conservation. That's the,
Yeah.
the subway block.
You get,
we get across that bridge.
I think it's a, nothing.
Well, you know it's a no-brainer, but you know, when you take a look at conservation. You know, when they built James Lane. It's like, well, those things, right? Everybody said it's being abandoned, we just spent $750 million on it, oh, it's being abandoned. And conservation, they did nothing over there with the used car lot in zone A for 20 years. So, but they stopped us all the time. I can't
Would you
understand.
like to table this until executive session?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so we'll table this discussion for now. I'd rather have a full.
Yeah.
Before we take the vote. So I put on here the fire protection hydrant fees, just because we can share data regulations, so it's fairly spelled out. What the fire protection hydrant fees consist of. Why they are in place. I have not had a chance to see the draft of what I was proposed to.
Okay, but I mean, reading about it, you know, what they're there for. It's popular.
Okay, so the Cohasset Estates matter is.
Done.
Done for now,
Yes.
until they respond to our level. In general, we don't have a very robust explanation in our rules and regs about what the fire protection.
I know, I must have read something about, but they were pretty much a robust, what.
There's been a lot of stuff circulating. You sent us a lot of helpful information. But I
But
think we
it
need to-
probably would be beneficial to some of these people, they don't understand.
Well, I think if you take the 2 sections that are on 2 separate pages, just come up with.
Yeah.
Maybe a
What?
small explanation here, and then taking the input from town council. And putting it into a section, maybe on its own. Yeah, right in the rules. and
Yeah, I
regs.
agree.
So I have if you want the Word document. Of the rules and regs. Do you have that? So you can edit it,
I have that, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I'll send around the language for. And then we can. Do an agreement on the final language, then we can take a vote on it. Sunday.
One thing I want to interject. If I am from a different town, we've been driving around. I must say, the only ones that have been maintained and are easily identified are Cohasset. I mean, you look at Hingham, and it's like. You can't, in the hydrants, they look like they're junk. Ours are maintained, they're painted, they definitely have stakes in them, so they're absolutely spot on, you can find them instantaneously.
There's a lot of rusty hydrants in other communities.
Yes, no one is maintaining them, and that's something that we should be pointing out, that we are available, and take a look at what just happened in Hingham with that sports complex. Yeah.
To get on for access to items.
Pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah, and then don't forget, we paid years. The hydrant fee for Apple or not aquarium. For hydrants that were working, well, we never paid for hydrant for. The Cohasset water $1 million. And we were paying hydrant. Now. We're doing a great job, that's what I'm saying. Thank you very much.
Do we still use that reflective paint tops?
I don't think so.
No, that was very cumbersome.
Yeah.
Didn't spread very well. And they do strive to get the 125 done every year.
Yeah.
Connor does. Yeah,
You remember who the first person to use that paint on the hydrants?
I think that was you. Way back when.
It's actually like a dust too, when I
Yeah.
painted hydrants, so you put your, once you had it painted, you kind of put it on there,
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
so I said.
Right. The hydrant that's like right outside this. Yeah, on King Street.
Oh,
Did the water put the stone wall around?
no,
it, or did
we did, we did.
that?
If I recall, I believe, put in a stairway
Yeah,
and that disrupted the runoff.
okay.
And we were concerned it was gonna create worse, more and more erosion. So then we put the wall.
Good, that's good. Okay, financials. Anything to, bring up, Brenda?
not really. I don't know. I kind of looked them over. I sent them to Diane in the finance department and said, is it okay for me to send these on as they came off of SoftWrite? Cause I know that she's been working very closely with our part-time finance director person. I don't know what her name is, Mary Marge or something. No, we don't, they still haven't hired anybody, so this is the
Crystal.
rental.
True.
So we consultant.
This is the consultant finance director. She doesn't come to the office. She works remotely a couple of days a week. So they've been doing some stuff in the background to kind of close out the other fiscal years. I do have a couple of emails that I have to address today. She was questioning. One of the questions that she had was inquiring as to why it seems water budgets for authorized and unauthorized debt every year. She said in fiscal year 26, you budgeted 559,291, and she's curious if you're doing this in case you need a ban.
I don't think we budgeted that. They put that in from town meeting votes of, possible bans or debt. Because we've been paying cash for most of our stuff throughout the years, and this is the money that really goes into the dirt.
Can you just read that one more time?
I'm gonna forward it to you. Because I read it quickly before this meeting and I'm like, oh no, I gotta talk to the board about this.
Say, because we've been really fiscally responsible and doing most of our work that way. And that's why we've had retained earnings for dollars that they've been using that rather than going out to fund.
Yep.
And it was unfortunate when one of the previous accountants went out, took those bans out that were not needed. Capital wasn't one for us.
All right, just went to you.
Because there is no communication, it seems.
And I was gonna pull up the spreadsheet with the rate study and all that, and I just,
So I'll take a look at that. So Brenda, the expenditure budget you sent, this is as of end of fiscal 25.
my Excel spreadsheet was as of yesterday. The one that came off SoftWrite was prior to the bills that were paid yesterday.
Is that still fiscal 25? Is there like a grace period of?
Yeah, we're still, there's still three after those bills you signed today. There's still 3 or 4 outstanding invoices that I haven't received yet. Hopefully have them. And then we'll be done.
Yeah,
Yep.
So. You're still 9% below budget.
Yeah, we still got, we still left money on the books. I was, you know, I wish I had spent more, but when we had the Pond Street project going on, it was really an unknown. We kind of had a good idea what it was gonna cost, but it was such a last minute thing that I didn't dare go gangbusters on, spending $150,000 on meters. I only spent whatever. So
How much do you think we still have? To go into 25?
I'm showing currently there's over $278,000 left in our
Yeah.
expenditure
Then you're
budget.
waiting for some invoices.
But it's all encumbered.
It's on.
Yeah. And some of the encumbrances are higher than what's actually gonna come in. So that money obviously is gonna go to retained earnings.
Debt authorized to the issue.
Right, exactly.
I'll verify what that number is. But should. That's accurate. Down. If it's right, then we should be, it should be around 600,000 or 700,000. Going into. Daters.
Yeah, one of the things that I do know is not correct on their side is the $600,000 that we got at special town meeting in 2024 to go into extraordinary maintenance. It was never really put there, so it's out there somewhere. But it didn't hit where it was supposed to, but I wasn't worried about it because we still had enough money to cover everything. That was for the chlorine gas upgrade.
That's why we have to really figure out where we are with returning, so that when we go to town meeting, instead of authorizing going out for bond. And that's why we had that issue back a couple years ago. Where we were supposed to be using retained earnings for one project and bonding for another. But unfortunately, the finance department screwed up and took out those two bands. Which cost us $44,000 of interest that was unfortunate.
What do we think our retained earnings is gonna be?
Which just sits as a defense.
Oh,
No, not total, so,
So we don't know what we have for this year retained earnings.
we likely have. I mean, again, it's depending on how much. Split between stabilization, retained earnings.
Yeah.
There should be approximately 800,000 going into retained earnings / stabilization, so 25.
Yeah.
So
well,
that'll
we
be
have-
on top of around 7. So we should get up around.
Because we haven't really been having a lot of money.
270,000.
Yeah, I'm saying. Whatever. Then the other thing we have to take a look at too is indirect costs. We have not got any spreadsheet from the town with actual indirect costs they're charging us for the year. With the actual year on it, because some of those indirect cost spreadsheets they've been sending us. You really can't tell what's what because they put the wrong years on. And realize
We
it
did do a
is.
reconciliation of. We did not do a reconciliation of fiscal 24.
We're 25, and then don't forget, we're paying a weekly amount for the account.
It's going towards the consultant.
Well, how much is the consultant? I mean, we're not getting any numbers.
Still. That's what
They would say, but we're not getting any numbers, we're not getting any reports. And don't forget, state has requirements for monthly reports under enterprise funds that we're not getting. And also, the town has bylaws for monthly reports for all departments that we're not getting. And what's it been? How long? How many months? Year and a half? And it's difficult to run a business without any accurate. So we need to get the accurate indirect costs with the right years on the reports, not like it's incentive.
That's Chris Senior.
Are we talking about? We want to talk about-
Yeah, I mean, last time I spoke. Perception, so told me that they just hired a finance firm. So I was open to them,
Not even.
so maybe that fell through. Um,
And I'm same thing with the director at the corporate governance.
she did.
Everybody left.
Okay, Brenda, anything else on this?
Not at this time.
Any Steve? Oh,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, one more thing. So I was going through our capital projects. That were supposed to be liquidated. A while ago that we, but they never got liquidated. So I sent another email to Diane saying, you know, where it was at town meeting, these are supposed to be liquidated. So those are supposed to be cleaned up. Then I had her run a report of our active accounts, capital project accounts.
Yeah.
And there's several in there with a lot of discrepancies. And I said to her that her and I need to sit down with this finance person to go over those accounts. Because this goes back 3-4 years. 2 different finance directors. And this one woman, I mean, she seems to know what she's doing. But I'm not sure what went askew, but the numbers aren't matching with what they should be. So I'm gonna work on that. And I'll let you know once I find out.
it's not matching.
Well, I have like, you know, those the accounts that were taken out for GAC. And then there was like,
Balances for what they're.
yeah, the balances, so it looks like they might have just transferred, not that it's. The numbers aren't matching my spreadsheet. I'm the one who's coding them. I know how much is supposed to be in each one of these, so I've gotta. Have them look at what I have, and they can look at these invoices and say, okay, no, it was coded to here, it needs to be moved to here. So it's little things like that. They're like journal entries that need to be done. But I wanted, if I've got somebody that's gonna look at our books as closely as I want them to.
Yeah.
This is what has to happen. We have to go line item by line.
Right.
And I have no problem doing that. I just want it right. Down to the penny.
So did you get that requested?
Diane. In the finance department, but she's just the assistant to the finance director. But she knew there was gonna be anomalies, like it wasn't gonna match. When she sent the original report to me.
Wow.
Just because so much was going on in the past 3-4 years and money and. So, and I think. I mean, I can pull every invoice that we've ever paid out of those accounts and show them the coding, show them the warrant. And where it was supposed to come from, what account. So if they drew it from another account, it just needs to be journal entry where it needs to come from.
And we probably should make sure we have an accurate updated schedule.
Capital council.
You know, our debt schedule.
It hasn't changed though.
Just-
We haven't borrowed anything.
I know,
So the
Well-
debt schedule hasn't changed. I asked Linda about that.
okay, I just would make sure.
Yeah, and she said, no, nothing has changed because we haven't borrowed it.
And The deficit in our user charges for 2025, we only provided 93%. We have to just keep an eye on that, make sure we don't get into a situation like we were in a few years ago. And when I first came on board, we had a lot of people.
Well, they just sent the demands out. They went out,
I mean, but it's important to keep an eye on this number over here, doesn't get too up. Under, user charges. Yeah, as long as we can get some accurate numbers with indirect cost and be able to reconcile. That's important. Because I don't feel it's up to a lot of. What we think. I feel like we're, oh, so we go. About us.
All right, are we ready to go into executive session?
We did that.
Okay.
I know Commissioner-
so if you read that, Chris, and then say you're not gonna, are you gonna close out after that? So say you're not coming back down. So read that and then say you're not gonna.
Motion to go into executive session, you go. Yeah, so,
If we make a motion. we wanna Come back out just to close.
Or you can make a motion, you won't come back.
I'd like to make a motion that the water commission, adjourn the public meeting, executive session. Under exemption number 3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining litigation position of the public body. The chair so declares. The board will discuss potential. Is there a second?
I second to close the meeting on page 55 and go into executive session.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong time, it's 9:13.